Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comfort Level Podcast. I'm Madi, and I'm here with
Brandon.
And we're here wishing you guys a happy holiday season. I think this is going to be our first
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. I forgot. The sleigh bells are ringing. Happy holidays.
Are you singing a holiday song?
Yeah.
Because in October, I was trying to get in the Halloween spirit, in the holiday spirit a little bit early, and for whatever reason, you didn't want to do that. But now you're over here singing. It's just like the moment that I want to get in the holiday spirit, you're not into it. But the moment that you want to get in the holiday spirit, you're like, I'm here now.
Okay. We're doing that? We're doing that?
Yeah.
Because it was the middle of July, Maddie.
It was not the middle of July.
It was the middle of July.
It might have been August as a joke. And then September came and I was serious.
You were singing Christmas music in the middle of July.
Which one was it? Because I really do want to know. I'm curious because I want to start singing it now.
It was one of the Christmas songs. And I was like, why are you singing that? It's like 800 degrees outside.
It wasn't that hot.
It was scorching hot.
I mean, global warming is a thing, but it wasn't that hot.
It was, my skin was like melting. And I was like, dude, if we don't get into some air conditioning, I'm going to burn it all like this next story.
Am I the asshole for telling my son the village you wanted doesn't exist since you burnt it to the ground?
What do you mean? Like a toy? The village you wanted doesn't exist because you burnt it to the... Okay, I'm going to say yes if he's like 6 and below. Because that's a crazy visual to put in any kid's head.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the title, you don't know the context. You're like, what are you talking about?
A whole village. Or if it's like the freaking like buy a star type thing. It's like, oh, you helped buy a village. That would be horrible.
That would be horrible.
That would be
That's what I thought at first. I was like, is this man like an arsonist? Like, what does he do? But anyway, am I the asshole for telling my son the village you wanted doesn't exist since you burnt it to the ground? This is a bit complicated. I'm a stepmom to 5 wonderful kids. I became their stepmom when the oldest was 9. I adopted all of them but one, and that is Nick. He never wanted me to be his mom, which is fine. The moment he turned 18, he made it very clear that he doesn't care about me at all. I wasn't invited to his wedding, any holidays, and so on if he was hosting. My last straw was when he told me that he'll come to Christmas that I was hosting if I left. So we are very low contact. Along with that, he has blown up every sibling relationship. He has 2 girls now and called me up. This was a surprise, and we started talking. After a while, he started complaining about not getting help at all to raise his kids. He asked me to watch them on Sunday and step up as a grandparent. I told him the reason the village doesn't exist to raise his kids is due to him burning down the village. He called me a jerk and hung up. My husband is iffy on the situation, but told me it's my call since I would be the one watching the kids most of the time since he travels often for work. So I'm posting here. Am I the asshole?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh. Well, I want to first say the only reason she is because of that title. Like, bro.
Pretty clever.
It was clever, but like, come on now. Like, that's so different context. Village as in raising children. That, right. Okay.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. But like, come on now. Like, you know what you were doing.
Yeah.
You wanted the clicks. But yeah, nah.
And you got him.
She got me. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm finally realizing that the consequences of my actions are helping me, see more stress because, I don't have a village to help because I burned it down. But I don't want to admit that. That's what that's giving.
It sounds like he has a lot of issues with the fact that that's his stepmom. So he's like probably pissed that his mom isn't around. And for whatever reason, he would always take it out on the stepmom. At least it sounds like him being super disrespectful to her, thinking he's getting back at her when it sounds like she's just only ever trying to be there for him. Mm-hmm. Like the mom adopted all the other kids but him because he didn't want to be adopted. And then, I don't know, just saying little like asshole comments like that of, I'll come to your Christmas party that you're hosting if you don't go. What?
At my house?
Yeah, just super rude. And then even the entitlement, like afterwards when he was like calling her up, had a little attitude and was like, you can step up and be the grandma now if you really want to be, because you're supposed to be in these kids' lives, aren't you?
Wait, did he say that if you want to be? Because he said, at least from what I heard when you read, he said, you need to step up.
He asked me to watch them on Sunday and step up as a grandparent. Basically complaining, where's everybody at? And also, he burnt a bridge with all of his siblings.
All of his siblings.
Yeah.
You know how many free babysitters you could have had? But
right.
nah, you wanted to be different.
Right. So it's not just the mom. It's clearly him being the problem.
He's the problem. I don't think he realizes.
I feel like when there are people that are like that, because I feel like I have somebody similar in my life that sees everybody else as the problem, they're always going to blow off their issues on somebody else.
Yeah.
You know? But she does give more context in the comments. So I'm going to read some of the comments.
Ooh.
What has your husband been doing for the last however many years? Does he have a relationship with his son? How did y'all function before Nick turned 18? Where is Nick's mother? There's too much missing here. But based on just the information that appears here, Nick is meeting the consequences of his choices, like you said. Not the asshole. Maybe? And then OP responded, husband has been low contact, but it's due to a different reason. He didn't have a great relationship with his siblings, but they tolerated each other. Nick's mom said, I'm out, and basically gave up her rights. I've never talked to her, and I don't think the youngest has even talked to her. I have no idea what she's up to. Somebody else asked, info, what's the different reason his father is low contact? Did something happen during childhood? Maybe before you even came into their lives? And OP responded, he trashed his hunting cabin and refused to pay for the damages.
So he's just unconsolable at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you do for people like that where they don't ever take consequences for their own actions and they blame everyone else? It's always somebody else's fault.
Therapy, I feel like, would work.
If they want to go to therapy.
It seems like from the story, it seems like he's just angry at the world.
Yeah.
He's just mad. Like, so maybe a little bit of anger management and therapy would probably at least get him on the right path.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he also has like a victim mentality where it's like, you have done this to me, so I don't deserve this. This is your fault. It's never, life happens and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
My mom wasn't there for me. Okay, so where am I going to find positive female role models in my life so that I don't treat women like crap, you know? And so that I can continue to have a relationship. You know, there's somebody else that stepped up in his life who's a stepmother. It's like, listen, you're not my mom, but you can be a motherly figure in my life.
Yeah, and it's even like not even the respect of like at least being, okay, you're not my real mom, but at least you're my stepmom. Like, you know, like
you're here.
Yeah, you're somebody.
Yeah, you're somebody. Know? You're an important person in my life.
And it's like the fact that he was from a young age dead set on you are just a random person to me is wild. But
stubborn.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people that are like really toxic with their lifestyle, I feel like they can release some of that toxic energy through therapy. Cause okay, how do I say this? So like, you know, just like working through the emotions, like, cause he's mad at the world for some reason, maybe even before his mom left, or maybe even, or it might have been because of his mom leaving, but because he didn't work through that, it leads him to be a person that blows up, burns down villages and burns every bridge and can't take accountability. Mm-hmm. So I think therapy is really powerful. And I wonder if even like as crazy as he seems, if therapy can help him out.
Mm-hmm. I think therapy is good, but it needs to be somebody who wants to go to therapy.
Yeah.
And I think that therapy can help anybody, but I think it can help a lot of men because men are just told to just put your emotions away, don't deal with them. And then guess what they come out as? They come out as one emotion, anger, because you haven't dealt with all the underlying things and trauma in your life, because I'm sure he does have trauma, but the fact that he's choosing not to deal with it, that's when it's like, okay, it's not your fault what happened to you, but the fact that you're not dealing with it and trying to, you know, push through life and be like, okay, what can I take from this crappy situation?
Yeah.
And then move on. I think that's where it's like, okay, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You being a bad person because your life sucks to other people, that's on you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't have a village around you anymore says something. It's not just one person who's like, no, I'm not going to be around you. It's a lot of people. It's almost all your family that you've alienated yourself from them because of your actions.
Yeah. It's like he became the situation instead of letting the situation happen.
Yeah.
But
he sounds like a man baby, like this next story. Were you going to say something or were we going to transition?
That's nice. That was good.
Am I the asshole for calling my brother an insecure, testicle-grabbing, chauvinistic man baby over his comments about my wife's makeup?
No.
Okay. So, that's the actual quote. I'm still pissed as hell, but maybe I went too far here. My brother and I are both late 30s. We get along fine most of the time, but my brother doesn't do well in a lot of social situations. He says things that are inappropriate and gets overly opinionated, yells a lot, etc. He just doesn't seem to understand tact or when to let things go in casual conversation. Our wives are best friends. They talk almost every day on FaceTime. My wife is an ex-model/actress locally and very good with makeup. She's in her mid-30s and we have 3 kids and she doesn't wear much makeup anymore. But she got some as a gift for Christmas and decided she wanted to get more. Apparently she's been buying some cheap stuff and she wanted to splurge on some good shit. Anyway, she's been testing it all out over the last month, buying more here and there and doing some crazy eyeshadow things. Honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about, but she looks great all the time. She's gorgeous without makeup. She's really talented with it, though, and she's having a lot of fun. I tease her a little since she works from home and she's wearing pajama pants, but her makeup looks like she's at a nightclub. I think it's cute and funny. My brother thinks she's doing it because she's cheating, or she wants to cheat. He called me this morning to say that he's concerned because he's seen her on FaceTime and he decided she must be posting pictures or sending pics to some dude or multiple dudes. I tried to blow it off and explain that it wasn't that way, but he got more aggressive about it, so I ended up yelling at him and shouting the insecure testicle man baby thing. He's being ridiculous and needs to mind his own business, but I think I might be the asshole for blowing up at him and name-calling when he's probably well-intentioned. I want to add too, mom and brother both asked, maybe other people will. No, I haven't asked my wife why she's recently started wearing more makeup, and I'm not going to because I think it's rude. She's spending her money on stuff for her face and it's a creative hobby. I'm not going to be a dick that ruins somebody's creative outlet by asking them to justify it or by insinuating there's a sinister motive behind it. It makes her happy, so I assume that's why she's doing it. Asking why is dumb and insulting, in my opinion. Am I the asshole?
I would like to recant my statement. Yeah. I mean, he hit it right on the head. Like, it might have been well intended. Like, he said his brother is not good in social situations from the get-go. So if you know that about your brother and he's bringing something up, he's not good with socializing and probably expressing what he feels. So he's like, yo, it's kind of strange that your wife is doing that. Now, whether you guys are securing your relationship is a different thing, but he's coming with the intent of, I'm going to look out for my family at the end of the day. And to be like, yo, look into it or whatever, however he said it. And he just gets bombarded with a man baby. Wait, what was the title?
Like ball grabbing.
Ball grabbing man baby testicle tickling something.
Listen, bro, you're just an insecure, testicle grabbing, chauvinist man baby.
We got to act this out.
Okay.
We got to act this one out.
All right. I'll be the stupid brother.
The stupid brother? Oh, dang. But okay.
Oh, you want to be the stupid brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really didn't want to have to do this, but
I love your makeup. It just makes me laugh because, you got the pajama pants on, but you look beautiful, babe. I love you so much. Yeah. Hold on, it's Kevin. Hello?
Yo, dude. I really didn't want to have to bring this up to you, but man. Your wife's been wearing makeup and... Yeah,
I know. She looks really good. Have you noticed?
Yeah, I have noticed. But the thing I'm thinking is she works from home. You know? Like, think this through with me, all right? She works from home.
Right.
Who does she have to look good for?
She's not looking good for anybody, bro. She's just wearing makeup. It's like a hobby. She likes to do it.
I understand that and like totally hear you. But like think about it like this. If you're working from home,
right?
Would you dress up?
I mean, if I wanted to. She doesn't dress up.
She doesn't dress up. Then why is she putting makeup on? You know what I mean?
Kevin, bro, listen to me when I say this. It's a hobby. She likes to do it. It's fun for her.
It's fun for her. Sure. I think she's cheating.
Kevin.
Listen, hear me out. She's probably posting them online, you know, like you're not there and she's caked up, face full, looking beautiful as ever. And you're not there
Kevin,
around and she just can look, it's free reign. The internet, you can do whatever you want.
Kevin, do not talk about my wife like that. All right.
I'm just saying, maybe she's cheating.
She's not cheating, bro. And by the way, you freaking insecure, testicle grabbing, chauvinist man baby.
Whoa.
Bro, she's not cheating. She looks beautiful no matter what. She can wear makeup. She's her own person. It's fun for her to do, bro. Somebody got it for her as a present. You need to go grab your testicles somewhere else.
Have fun going through a Reddit DMs, jerk.
Reddit DMs. He's deep in if you're on the Reddit DMs flirting with somebody because that's interesting. And scene. A little late, but...
I got range, dude. No, I'm playing. That's ridiculous.
You sound like the guy from Surf's Up.
Really?
The penguin.
Dude, tubular. Wait, what did he say? He said, no, I don't even remember.
I can't quote it. And if Sam were here, for whatever reason, because I can't quote a movie from 15 years ago, he'd be like, you haven't seen the movie.
You haven't seen the movie.
Shout out Sam. He's in Korea right now.
You
South
my cousin,
Korea.
man. You my cousin, Sam.
You my boyfriend's cousin, Sam.
You
and you're my friend.
Cousin, Sam.
You're my friend. I'll say this. I agree with you. I don't think he's the asshole. I totally am sadly really happy that he has this mindset because I feel like it's actually not as common as we might think.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of like men just understanding that for women who like to put their makeup on, it's like, I'm doing this for me.
The fact that he went 0 to 60 though so fast, like, okay, I understand what the brother's saying because like, I mean, with the brother thing, because it's like, yo, like she wants to look pretty, that's cool, whatever. But for him to just be like, well, maybe he's one of those people where it's like, you know, you're going back and forth and then you're like, all right, bro, you're not going to get it. But I was like, dang, like from what it seems like in the Reddit context, it was like 2 exchanges and he's like, you testicle. It's like, you thought about that one.
Yeah.
You've been waiting to say that.
He's been thinking about it with his brother for sure. Not the asshole. When I wear makeup, I do it for me, not my husband or any other men. Me. Many women are the same way. Your brother jumping to the she wants to cheat because she's wearing makeup again is absolutely misogynistic garbage and he needed a dressing down. You sound great and you seem to be really lovely and appreciate your wife as well. And you understand what being supportive means. Keep it up. And OP responded, see, this is how I generally assume women are about makeup. Thank you for validating that. I tried to point that out to my brother that a lot of what she was doing isn't sexy makeup. It's more theatrical. I don't know. It looks like face art to me. Sometimes it's really pretty. 3 days ago, she was a drag queen with a glitter beard. Whatever. I just think she's having fun with it and I like it.
Wait, what?
She was a drag queen with a glitter beard.
Oh.
Like you said, it's just for fun.
Yeah. I was like,
just imagine being at work from home and they call you for a meeting. You're like, okay.
Here I am. That was crazy. That line is a little weighty. Or some might say just heavier. Weight like this next story.
Oh. So, this one is, am I the asshole for telling my daughter-in-law she wasn't invited due to her weight?
Oh, wait, not invited. Did it say where?
It didn't say where.
Not invited. Due to weight. Yes.
Yeah.
But... yeah, I gotta know where because that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's weightist. Was that? No. What is it? The word?
Fatphobic.
Potentially.
Yeah. So, am I the asshole for telling my daughter-in-law she wasn't invited due to her weight? We have done plenty of things that are not physically taxing with her, but even the small stuff, she ends up on a bench half the day. We went to a small mall, half of the day on the bench. It was window shopping. She's obese. Her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. Post. I will try to keep this short. I have 3 girls and we still like to do girls' trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now, before her kids, she was an average weight, and after, it got a lot worse. Her only kid is 8 years old at this point, and she hasn't lost the weight. It's bad enough that she needs constant breaks walking. I used to like her, and now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go, it is constant complaining that she's tired. The last girls' trip to the mall was spent sitting on the bench half the day since she needed a constant break. If you try to leave, she'll go on about abandoning her. It's annoying. I invited the girls to go to a farm for a pumpkin patch and pick some apples. It was a big orchard and tons of walking. We went and it was a great time, and some pictures went on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied saying that it was a family thing, and she accused me of lying. I had enough and I told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due to her weight, that she forces us to stop all the time and it ruins the trip most days since we don't do half the stuff. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm getting texts from my son saying to apologize, but the girls are on my side and are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. Am I the asshole? Yeah. I feel like this story is like a really sensitive subject.
Yeah. Oof.
I can understand where OP is coming from. Where it's like she goes to other events, but this one specifically, there's a lot of walking. And my experience with her in the past is she would be complaining about walking most of the time, and we would just end up sitting on a bench. I don't know if there's necessarily a nice way to say it when it is like your weight is getting in the way of being able to do some activities, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I can see where in this situation where she's like, we're going to go to the pumpkin patch. It's going to be a lot of walking. I know from her experience in the past, she's not going to be able to do it. And she's going to be complaining about it. So I just didn't invite her. I don't know if there's probably a better way that she could have worded it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like people need to hear the straightforward facts where they can maybe look after their health if it's something that can be fixed, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I think it's everyone sucks here.
Yeah.
And here's my reasoning. Okay, OP, like you said, I could see and I agree where she's coming from. Nobody wants to do anything with someone that's constantly going to complain for one. So it's like the complaining aspect, yes, but it's like at the same time too, her physical aspect is that she really cannot. Like if she does push herself too hard, it's going to be a danger to herself. Mm-hmm. So it's like from that standpoint, yes, but it could have been worded maybe a little bit nicer. Like, just like, I thought about, or something like, I thought about you. I at least know, like, I thought about you, but like considering the circumstance of where we were going to be and the activity that was at play, it wouldn't have been wise. Mm-hmm. Or at least something like that. Not just your weight or whatever she said.
Yeah.
It's like, or the daughter-in-law.
Okay.
She's in the wrong because it was with her daughters. Mm-hmm. If you saw me post a picture, well, I would probably most likely would tell you if I was on vacation. Mm-hmm. But you're like, that's his family. Like, okay, whatever.
If it was Elise and your mom too.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like she just invited the whole block to go to this thing. Mm-hmm. It was literally just her and her daughters. Why can't you just let that slide? Mm-hmm. And two, yeah, like, I don't know, like, just, it's one event.
Yeah.
They bought you a multiple.
If I was maybe struggling with being able to walk and I was invited to stuff like this, I feel like maybe some people might feel like they're like, okay, like I feel that you guys are upset with me. I feel like I'm a burden in a way. Mm-hmm. And maybe this isn't for everybody, but if I was in this situation, I'd be like, okay, you guys are like physically, like I can see it on your face. You guys are upset with me. The fact that I need to take a break and sit on a bench. So I wouldn't be complaining, but I would just be like, I don't think I can do this. So if I were to see that, if I were to see that they're at the pumpkin patch, great, they had fun. I know that's probably not what I can do right now.
Yeah.
So I'll see you guys at the next family event because I know you're not uninviting me to things. It was just one event that I wasn't invited to. So I don't know what their family dynamic was before where, because she's been in the family for, I think, 8+ years, where before it's like, dang, you would have been inviting me to the pumpkin patch, something like that. But I think on both sides, maybe there could have been more constructive conversation where it's like the mom, she said she doesn't like her now, but the mom was like, if she said it in a different way, worded it, and she's like, okay, I can understand that, I'm aware. It's something that I would like to be a part of in the future, but I understand why you didn't think I was going to be able to do it. And maybe you're right. Maybe you're right that I couldn't do it, but maybe we can go, I don't know, to some other event that's like fall themed if that's what she's missing out on, and we can all spend time together, and it might just not be like a strenuous activity, So I do agree. Maybe it is more like everyone sucks here, because I feel like it could have been worded differently.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she's aware of her impact on the family and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in this situation that she was an asshole for planning an event without her.
Yeah.
Maybe the way that she said it and delivered it could have been a lot nicer. But there's probably other events. It doesn't sound like she's being like, you're not invited to anything ever again. It's this one thing.
So, okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, this might take us off topic, but okay, we know lying's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's wrong when a parent lies to protect? Like in this scenario, the mother lies to her, to her daughter-in-law. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just a family event. But in reality, she was like, the weight is going to make it a problem.
Mm-hmm.
In that scenario, is her line, do you think that line initially is wrong?
I would say I could see myself doing it to protect somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is wrong because you're not necessarily being honest about it. But could I see myself doing that in the future with potentially, my kids? If it's like, listen, I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you what the actual reason is. So I'll just say something like that. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm being honest, I might do it. I might change my mind as time comes, so before it happens. But in this moment, if I was in that situation too, it's such an uncomfortable topic. I might have come up with a lie too, to be like, yeah, this is the reason why.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, because I was like, why do our parents tell us not to lie so much, and then it'll become like a really bad situation or a messy situation like that one? And what's the first thing they rely on? Mm-hmm. Lying.
I was just trying to protect you.
Yeah, I was just trying to protect you. I was just trying to make it so you didn't have to deal with it. And it's like in that scenario, her lying to protect
was for herself.
But like in a way too for her, because it's like, I don't want the real reason of why I'm not inviting you. But then once she was like, blah, 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 or like, you don't invite me, all this. And she's like, all right, cool. Like her telling the truth with her sting.
Yeah, well, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I've seen my parents do this before where, it's a family event and they don't want to invite a certain person. And, somehow they hear about it and it's like, oh, we didn't invite everybody. We just invited, certain people. And that wasn't the exact example, but I'll say it was a family event like Christmas or something. A certain person doesn't come. And, everybody comes, and then they find out about it and they're like, what happened? I'm sure that my mom specifically, because she usually plans the events and stuff, she's probably said something before, not to hurt people's feelings, when really it's like, listen, if you come, some people won't come. I'm being honest. And we want them to come.
Yeah.
And if you come, that's great. But we want them to come. And maybe I'm being too honest.
We're
maybe
picking favorites. And you're not them.
Well,
so
I'm not picking favorites. It's just like
somebody brings controversy to the party.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like you bring controversy to the party and we want these people to be here. And if you bring that controversy, they're not going to come. So we're going to pick them.
I almost wonder like if like postpartum had a play in it too. Like because she said she had an 8-year-old kid and hasn't recovered since having that kid.
Well, she hasn't lost the weight. That's
Yeah.
what they're trying to say. She's had a kid, she gained weight, and then she just keeps gaining weight. But I don't know. I think it can be a bunch of different factors. It can be, as simple as an unhealthy diet. And then as your body, you get older, you're like, well, I haven't changed what I was doing since I was 16, but my metabolism is different.
Mm-hmm.
It can also be for women, like certain, like I think PCOS does something like that too, where it's really hard to lose weight, but I think it's easy to gain weight. Certain medications that you're on, like certain birth controls, you can gain weight really easily. I think it's a bunch of different factors, and it could be as simple as there's something wrong with you, and there's an issue in your life, and you're not dealing with it, and the way that you deal with it is by eating, and it makes you happy, so you eat, and so that's that. It could be that, it could be a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
But I think because weight is such a sensitive issue, because there is a lot of fat shaming and stuff. It's like it is kind of like trying to steer around it because we don't know why she's there, and we're only getting context. We're only getting a little bit of context.
I got back into the gym yesterday.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, thank you. No applause for that. I just want to take care of me. You know what I mean? No, don't do that. Woo! No. But even like my first day going back afterwards, like I had this internal joke like, okay, Brandon, you've been on like bulking season for like at least half a year now. Like we gotta get back into there. But it's like, man, like, okay, people see me as fit. In my mind, I'm like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, I don't see it just yet. Like I see a certain idea of what I want to look like in my head. And so until then, I'm like, I'm not fit. And then plus on top of that, since I haven't been in the gym, like a lot of the workouts I've been doing, I'm like, good Lord. Like it's bad. And I'm like, dang, I'm out of shape. But like realistically, I'm probably fine. But like even after all that strenuous workout, I come home and all I want to do is just destroy my kitchen. Just find anything. Like it was like and it's like, it's not even like a normal hunger. It's like I'm going through puberty all over again hunger. Like hide your fridge, hide your pantry, because they eating everything out here. Like that's what I feel like. I was like, bro, like this is ridiculous. Or then we went out to get tacos and I ate all my tacos. You're like, you're done already? I was like, yeah. And then you're like, I'm full. And I was like, I mean, I can eat that taco for you if you want. But it's like, God dang, like, how am I supposed to like get in shape? How am I supposed to get that, batty, slim, thick looking? No, I'm playing. I don't want that. I want to be like Michael B. Jordan. But yeah, it's like, bro, like, I am destroying like some of this stuff is not even healthy for me. If
you want to be like Michael B. Jordan, I think it was when he was filming like his second movie, the Creed movie.
Yeah,
he was talking about how he loves to work out, and he works out like twice a day, so he just eats all the time too.
Oh, okay. So I'm on the right track then?
It's normal, I think. But I think it's also equivalent of like what food are you putting in your body?
Yeah.
And like the nutrient like dense food that you're not eating that isn't very much calorically. I don't know. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence because I don't know anything about what is it? I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not even gonna finish that sentence and just tell you what I learned on TikTok, because your body's different and you never know what your body needs.
I don't know why, but I don't know what that was, but the way you were delivering that, I was like, keep going. Because I want to hear you say it more, because it seems very interesting, even though you're just saying something very normal, that you learned something on TikTok. But the way you were saying it, I was like, yes, keep talking.
Am I the asshole for moving out when my parents asked me to pay rent?
No. I mean, you just went, it's like, steps up and steps down. You just took a lateral step. Your parents are like, pay rent. You're like, I'll pay my own.
They're like, okay. I, 23, am the oldest of 5 siblings, and I am a full-time student. I also have a part-time job in my field, but when I complete my degree, my employer will take me on full-time. I make enough for my part-time job to pay for school and put money aside. My siblings range from 20 to 10. Both of our parents work full-time. I've taken on a lot of the responsibilities for keeping everything running in the house. I do the grocery shopping, the laundry, as well as making suppers and doing meal prep so everyone has lunches ready to take every day. I also get all my siblings to do their part with regards to household chores. For example, my youngest brother is responsible for feeding and walking the dogs, so I make sure there is dog food in the storage and poop bags on the leash. My dad works very long hours and my mom works 9 to 5 at a hard job. Over Christmas, I had a chance to buy a PS5 for myself, so I did. The rest of the family is still using a shared PS4. I keep mine in my room and I do not share. My parents started fielding complaints from my oldest brother about how I made so much money and I don't share the things that I buy myself for. Totally true. So they had a talk with me where they brought this up. I pointed out how much of the household work I did, and they said that it wasn't fair that I was earning so much money without contributing. They told me how much they expected from me. I went to my room and did the math. If I gave them what they wanted, I would have about $800 left over. If I dropped a couple of classes next semester, I could go to almost full-time hours with my employer, and it would only be one more year until I graduated with my second degree. But I could afford my own place, and I would have way more free time and disposable income. I packed up and I moved out. Everything I owned fit in my car. I stayed at an Airbnb for 2 weeks until I could get everything sorted with an apartment, school, and work. It was great. I'm not going to lie, I may have gone a little overboard on Tinder. I couldn't have any women over to my house. I just moved into my own apartment. I'm working part-time until I finish the semester. I will work full-time over the summer and go to a lighter class load / higher work hours in the fall. My oldest brother has been tasked by my parents to do everything that I used to do. His chores have been split up with the other 3. They're all pissed at me for moving out. My parents are upset that I left them in the lurch. My siblings are mad at me that they all have more chores. My oldest brother is especially salty because he has no free time to see his girlfriend and she isn't allowed in the house when my parents aren't home. I'm enjoying my free time. I bought myself a plant from IKEA. I feel bad for screwing them all over, but it didn't make sense for me to do all the work and pay rent on top of it. Edit. All the chores were split fairly. I wasn't doing any more than anyone else. I thought it was fair until they also asked me for money as well. Am I the asshole? I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't know though. It reminds me of this conversation we were having with Yesenia.
Yeah, Yesenia.
Friend of the show.
Shout out.
But the whole like American mindset when it comes to taking care of family. Mm-hmm. It's like the second that their family required something from them, they're like required something else. They're like, okay, I literally do the chores. The way they said it in the beginning, it made it seem like
they were doing more.
They were doing everything.
That's what I thought.
And then out of nowhere, it's just the same load. He just does it. OP does it in different capacities. The second that their parents were like, you know, pitch in, help out, they're like.
And it was only because the siblings were like, you have enough money to buy this?
Yeah.
Mom, they have money. It's like, okay, well, you could help us out more around the house.
But then again, too, it's also in their approach. Because from what it seems like, it wasn't necessarily a you could help out more.
Oh, it's like you will.
You're going to.
This is what's expected.
This is what's expected, and this is how much you're going to have after for yourself. So in that sense, I'm like, okay, that makes sense that he left.
Yeah, I don't think they're the asshole. They were contributing a lot. And even though it's going to take them a little bit longer to finish school, their employer seems like they're really willing to work with them. And I mean, I think it makes sense because at first you hear it, you're like, so you're leaving the house to go pay rent somewhere else. But it's like they're saving money on time because now they don't have to do all these chores for somebody else. So they do have to work a little bit more and they have time. But now they have time for work. Now they have time for school. Now they have time for their PS5. You know,
Spider-Man.
I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, it sounds like they learned a lot of stuff at their house. And now the parents and the siblings are realizing how important that person was.
But yeah, it just brings me back to that scenario. Like, just like in other countries, people.
They stay.
Yeah, everything they do is for the benefit of the entire family. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was just a headbutt of ideals of like stuff like that. Where it's like, cause I'm like, man, like why did they just up and leave like just like that though? Like, and he was like, no hesitation. The second the parents were like, yeah. But then again, I'm contradicting myself now because in the beginning it wasn't like an asking, it was a requirement.
Right.
So
and they're like, I can save money. I'll have more money left over. I'll have more time. It just makes sense if I move out on my own. Plus I don't have to, live under their roof. I think they said they were dating more girls. They brought, they were on more dates at that point now too, because they have their own space.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it's a Christmas present to them, like this next story.
You stole it.
Am I the asshole for taking back my nephew's Christmas present and giving it to my son?
Whoa. Yes.
Okay. Am I the asshole for taking back my nephew's Christmas present and giving it to my son? My sister and I have always had a strained relationship. I usually just let things go and try and keep the peace. We both have sons who are around the same age. My nephew is 13 and my son just turned 11. For my son's birthday, I bought him this new gaming system he's always been wanting. He was absolutely thrilled and he plays it nonstop. My sister is bad with money. I usually have to lend her money for bills and stuff for my nephew. I know my nephew doesn't always get the best Christmas gifts, so this year I went a little crazy and I purchased the same gaming system for him for Christmas. I already had it ready and wrapped underneath my tree. Yesterday, my sister came to visit. My son asked me if they could go play video games. I said yes and reminded them to be careful. About 30 minutes later, my son comes running to me crying. I asked him what was wrong and he led me to the front hall. And when we got to the stairs, I see the new system smashed on the floor. Someone had thrown it from upstairs and it was now smashed to pieces. I asked my son what happened and he sobbed and pointed at his cousin. I asked my nephew if he did this and he started to laugh. He said that it was a stupid baby toy and that he saw people break them online. My sister came in and I told her what happened. I explained that this was an expensive system and that her son needs to be disciplined for what he did. I told her I wanted her to pay for what her son broke. She laughed and said no. She said I shouldn't have let them play unsupervised, that it was my fault and that I am a bad parent. She said my son will get over it and that it's not important. Seeing my son sitting on the ground next to his broken system trying to put the pieces back together tore my heart out.
Oh, no.
I walked over to the Christmas tree and grabbed the system that was meant for my nephew. I pulled the gift wrap up, gave it to my son, and told him to go upstairs and set it up. My sister asked me why I was making such a big deal when I had another one already. I then laughed and I told her that was actually your son's gift. That since it wasn't important and that it was just some stupid baby toy, then obviously they won't miss it. I told them to leave. My nephew realized what happened and began to cry, that my son had stolen his system. I said no, this was the one that he smashed. My sister was livid and told me that I will never see them again. I just said, okay, and slammed the door. Other family members are now calling me nonstop, saying that I'm an asshole and that I ruined my nephew's Christmas. I don't think so, though. My nephew is 13. He's not a stupid kid, and he knew what he was doing. I don't care that it was over jealousy. He's old enough to know better. My sister was not going to make the situation right, so I did what I had to do. They all think I should buy another new system for him, but I don't have that kind of money. I'm starting to feel bad about this, and I'm wondering, am I the asshole?
Da, 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 da. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go
Act a fool up in here, up in here.
The sister's reaction though, that's what ticked me. I was like, ooh, ooh. I was like, oh.
Not you singing church hymns, you're so mad. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I was like, good Lord. I mean, hey, it's a tough lesson to learn, you know. Now he knows.
But you know what's crazy? People are saying she's the asshole. I don't think she's the asshole. Like, her family is like, you should buy your nephew a new game. I did this out of the kindness of my heart from the beginning to buy him a nice gift because I know he doesn't usually get expensive gifts. I was going to give this to him. He was so jealous that my son was able to have this because his mom is bad with money. He's probably not aware of that. His mom is bad with money. That's her. That's not my boy. I don't need to be raising him or buying him presents or taking care of him, but I do because, you know, he's my nephew and I care about him. But he doesn't just get stuff.
Yeah.
His behavior is, I don't know if the word is conducive, but his behavior matters when it comes to like what he gets. You know, you don't just get things in life. It's a reward for you being a good person.
Yeah.
And so this is the consequence of your action of you being a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
You smashing my son's gaming console. You're stealing my money in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You just destroyed that. That can't be fixed. So where's my money for that?
Let the church say amen.
Amen. So now you don't get a gift. You just lost let's say that gaming console's $200. You just lost $200.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get my money back.
I bet you it was a Switch though.
You think so? How much is that? Like 200-ish?
Yeah. Well, the older ones are now. Yeah, like 200. But like I think it was a Switch just because
Probably.
He said, "Oh, I seen people breaking online. It's just a little game or whatever." But like those new Switches, they look like mini Game Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean not mini Game Boys because Game Boys are small. They're like big Game Boys. Like
really?
They're like all like one piece now. It's like it's kind of wild. Mm-hmm. But ooh, I think that's what's getting me though. The sister's reaction. No.
You should have been watching the kids. They're 13 and 11.
What the heck I gotta watch them for?
Right.
I give them their tablets and send them to their room.
My son knows what he's supposed to be doing. Your son is 2 years older. I assume he knew what he was supposed to be doing.
He knew how to break it. And then he's gonna cry afterwards. So he knows the cost.
Only after he realized. Because again, like she said, it was probably rooted out of jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
So you just missed out on your blessing because you're trying to take somebody else's away. You're upset that your cousin had something that you wanted. Little did you know, you had to wait probably 2 more weeks. That could have been yours, your own.
In that scenario, I'd be like, "You just broke that. You not my cousin. I'm disowning you after this. Dang. That's crazy. You not my cousin after
Imagine if Sam did that to you. You had to do that to Sam.
You not my cousin.
That's crazy. That hurts. I'm sure once he sees this, he'll be like, that hurts.
Yeah.
You don't need to say that, Brandon.
I'm not saying it to you, Sam, but if you broke my Switch, you not my cousin. If you broke my Switch when we were 11 and 13, you not my cousin after that.
Right.
And, you know, it's like, they're young enough for that to be like a rivalry at that point. Like, I ain't rocking with him no more. Like, after that, like, it's going to be hard to bury the hatchet.
And you know what's funny? I feel like her son will forgive faster than he will, even though it was the nephew's fault.
Yeah.
The nephew will be like holding a grudge against the aunt and his cousin. I'm like, you did that.
You caused this.
But it sounds like the thing that sucks like that, though, when it comes to like your parents, and I've seen this so many times with videos on like TikToks of like teachers that are our age now, where they're like, y'all, we try and be like, okay, we're trying to have a meeting right now talking about your kid and their behavior, but the parent is just as bad or as worse than the kid.
No, you gotta explain that. I haven't
so
seen that
it's like
TikTok.
There was a TikTok that I saw where this guy was reacting to. There's a show called Abbott Elementary. I haven't seen it, but I've seen little clips of it.
I've seen clips. I haven't seen it.
It was basically a teacher. She had called in his mom because he wasn't paying attention in class. He was being really disruptive. And the mom was rude, super rude, being like, okay, well, it sounds like you're incompetent. You don't know how to take care of my kid. Like, she wasn't trying to be like, hey, let's work on some methods so that your kid starts paying attention in class. It's like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. That's what happens apparently a lot in classrooms now, is like, even Hannah works in the school system. When she has the problem kids, and she wants to go talk to those parents, the parents are way worse. It's like, oh, okay, I see where you learned that from. Thinking that that's okay. And I only say that to say this, talking about how the nephew's probably going to blame the cousins and there's going to be a rivalry because the mom is worse than the nephew. The mom is like, that's your fault. Oh, you're not going to give him his present now? That I'm mad at you. So now the nephew is going to be like, yeah, I don't like my aunt. because she did this to me. Victim mentality. It's like, no, you did that.
Yeah.
And your mom's not even going to be like, that's on you.
And everybody else is enabling it.
Right. So it's like.
But I also wonder too, the only reason that people are enabling it is because they know the circumstance of, I mean, we only get a small glimpse of how bad she is with managing money.
Right.
But probably like everybody's probably like, yeah, like, you know, he needed something. Like, but OP also got more presents. It wasn't just the console.
I think probably.
She said, I went all out this year and got him some stuff and the console. So it's like, it's not like she just said, forget Christmas. Y'all not getting Christmas no more. I'm taking back everything. She just said, no, you're not getting the console. Like that was going to be like there's a gifts and then there's the prize and you don't get the prize anymore because you threw it on the ground. You
get some Skittles.
Imagine them the like full adult mindsets like, yo, like the kids like just like, hey, you just broke my console. I'm pressing charges. Like this next story.
Knew it. I heard it.
I heard it too, and I was like, "No, I'm giving it away.
Giving it
away. I want to be good so bad.
You are good. You
I want to be better.
Yeah, you can be better.
I'm stronger. I'm smarter.
I
am better.
Okay, so final story. Am I the asshole for refusing to see other options for a girl and pressing charges for what she did to my son's car?
Wait. No. What?
My 39 male son, 17 male, Bryce, dated our neighbor, Lana, 17 female, for a year. They broke up mid-January for reasons I don't know. I won't sugarcoat this. I never liked Lana. She always seemed a little unhinged, controlling, and aggressive. She's always demanding Bryce's attention, and there was quite a few times when she showed up at her house out of nowhere, whether it was 7 a.m. or 11 p.m., because Bryce wasn't answering his phone, screaming and calling him a cheater when it wasn't like that. The thought of our son getting abused by his girlfriend made us worried so much. My wife and I tried to talk him out of that relationship. We said how it wasn't normal nor healthy. We didn't want to force the breakup because we feared Lana would lash out at him, so we tried to do it in a sneaky way. We didn't know if it worked, but they ended up breaking up. He said that after he broke up with her, Lana didn't contact him, which was weird because he expected her to go nuts. But I told him that if fate didn't give him shit, then he better not tease it. Now the problem is that we bought my son a car for Christmas. Nothing fancy, but enough to get him to school, his job, and eventually college. He parks it in our driveway outside of our home. Ever since the month began, we have been finding scratches all over the car. We know Lana was doing it, but since it was minimal, my son decided not to do anything, even though we could prove that it was her. We have CCTV. Still, something smelled bad for me, so I decided to switch one of the cameras facing his car directly, just in case. Well, 2 weeks ago, we got up and we found my son's car covered in a lot of shit. Paint, glue, feathers, confetti. The door handles were wrecked, flat tires, paint all over the windows. You get the picture. Bryce and my mom were so distraught. We called the police and I handed them the CCTV that showed Lana and her brother, 23 male, destroying my son's car.
23 male?
We pressed charges. Needless to say, Lana's brother went straight to jail. But since she's still a minor, her parents want to make a deal, but I refused. I don't think she should get a way out. Before the police was here, she was laughing her ass off and then tried to play it cool. If she thought it was funny, then she was old enough to face the consequences. My wife and I want to stand our ground. They say they'll buy my son a better car and put Lana in therapy, but that's not enough. Am I the asshole?
Put her under the jail. No. No. I mean, that's the only right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because if you take not plea deal, what the heck? If you take that deal, that's a gentleman's agreement. Like the police are just going to say, hey, you know, then if you agree to that, then that's on y'all. Press charges, get the money, get those people in the right places.
Yeah.
Put her under the 7 a.m.
I like how that's what you're caught up about.
That's what I'm caught up about. Because you know me, okay, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm waking up early now.
But you're not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person. It takes me 2 hours before I even want to say anything.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes he'll FaceTime me and I'll be like, what's up? Because I ain't talked yet.
And I'm like, hi.
And I'm like, hey, yo, what's up? You're like, I just wanted to tell you this. This all happened within an hour span. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna go get ready to go to work or whatever. that's literally how our conversations go. But I'm like, bro, 7 a.m. If I was a parent, I would be.
And you know what's scary is they knew this was going to happen too, because they're like, we didn't even want to tell him outright, you need to break up with her, because we were scared about what was going to happen, because they're that toxic together. And she seemed to be that like distraught for him, which is kind of scary.
It's horrifying. The other thing that got me though is how much damage she did to the car. At first I was like, is that just her doing it? Because I was like, how are the door handles like, what type of monster is this girl?
Well, they probably had like something they're hitting it with, I assume, to like break the door handles.
But even then, wouldn't you hear it?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I would have been like, hey.
Probably had to be really quick.
Yeah. I was like, what the door handles are done? I'm like, hold on. Okay, if you're hitting, my thing is, I think she's just straight up just pure anger, just ripping those door handles straight off. Just
even scarier.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's got some anger issues.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't yet, she might have been wanting to hit that boy.
Yeah, just ripping them straight off. No door dings. The brother probably just like one tire, just like, and she's just doing the rest like,
and he's like, you know I'm 23, right?
I can go to jail for that.
I will be going to jail. And then he like looks and he sees the camera. He's like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have showed my face.
You know, I'm going to jail.
And Lana's like, it's fine. Psh, psh, psh.
It's fine. She just monster just straight.
Yeah, that's scary though. I'm really happy, thank God, that they had the camera turned on there, because otherwise it's like, it would have been like, you have all these damages and you know who it is, but you don't have proof of who it is.
Yeah. And
the fact that she was so smug, she was laughing before the police came. Like, she's like, you're not going to do anything. It's like, oh, okay. Then we are going to do something.
Yeah.
If you don't have any regret, for what you just did, scaring my wife and my son, now we have to pay for all this stuff, and you don't think anything's going to happen to you? That's not how this works.
And then on top of that, give it one more year, she going to be an adult.
Right.
She know what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, throw her under the jail. Try her as an adult. Throw her under the jail. Throw her under the prison. Prison. Or, you know, maybe a little bit of therapy.
Definitely
in the process of doing all that.
Right.
Because
we should be rehabilitating people.
Rehabilitate, yeah.
But, yeah, no, she needs to serve some type of consequence, whether that's community service, definitely therapy, you know, something. And
can you get a restraining order on your neighbor?
I was literally just thinking that. I don't know if you can give it on a minor, but it sounds like that's what needs to happen. She sounds like she's obsessed with him. Oh my gosh. That's kind of scary. Like, you're dating your neighbor and you're like, you know where I live.
You know where I sleep.
You know where I sleep. You know my habits. You know what I do.
You could easily track my habits.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially being a neighbor. It's like you could track it down to like, oh, I know what he's going to do when he's late. I know what time he needs to leave to be on time. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary. The more and more I think about it, it's a little horrifying.
Yeah. Top comment, not the asshole. This is the wake-up call she needs. Somebody else said, this is the wake-up call Lana, her brother, and her parents need. Because, yeah, like, it sounds like her parents were like, listen, we'll just pay you off. I don't think that was going to stop Lana. I don't think that would have ever stopped that girl until she found somebody else, or she felt like she wasn't being wronged anymore or whatever. I don't know. Because even in the relationship, it sounded like they were saying it was maybe abusive. So.
Yeah. People like that too. It's like, bro, when do you stop? Like,
yeah.
I don't think you do until it's like something heinous.
Mm-hmm. So.
And they live not together, next to each other.
Darn near.
But I was asking, can you get a restraining order on a neighbor? That's what I was asking.
Well, I mean, if it happens, they're obviously going to have to move.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens, they're obviously going to have to move. So
that's like a unlocked fear.
Mm-hmm. And with the age of phones and stuff too, like I'm sure his mind mentally is just absorbed with this girl of like, okay, she might be triggered by this. She might be triggered by this. Let me not make her mad. Let me try and maneuver my way and make myself more uncomfortable and smaller just to not make her freak out. So it sounds like it was good that they weren't dating anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that concludes this episode.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So we'll see you guys next week. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
All the sleigh bells will ring.